welcome to the Up Podcast. I'm Michael Krupp, your host, and this is my co-host Christian Johnson. Say hi.
Hello.
Um, this all kind of started. Play a lot of PlayStation together, and we have some interesting conversations. And figured, hey, why not record and put it out? Most of the time, that's the opposite thought, but we'll keep it as clean as possible.
Most of the time, we're trying to hide what we say in our party chats. This time, we're coming out to the world with it.
And if you see our mugshots in the coming weeks, it's probably why. All right. We're both pretty big sports fans, so I didn't get to catch a lot of games this past weekend with work, but I know you caught a lot more than I did, which any game was more than I did. Actually, I caught 3. I caught all the night games, the Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. And speaking of, out of the 3 games, I'd have to go with my favorite game was probably the Redskins-Giants game.
So I have 2. I have the Cardinals-Vikings game. That was really good. Love watching Kyler play like he is right now. But another good one was the Florida-Bama game. Like, I did not expect that. That was a surprisingly good game.
I kind of watched the score while I was at work. Saw a couple highlights. I heard a lot of it was Bama jumped up early, and then Florida kind of came back.
It was close. Like, I thought Florida actually was going to make a comeback. It all came down to like the final play of Florida, that final 2-point conversion. So I feel like if Florida would have gotten the ball going into overtime, Florida would have probably won it with all the momentum they had.
But watching some highlights, reading about it, it seemed once Florida started getting pressure on Bryce Young, and they really got that running game going, is when that Florida team really got rolling.
Yeah. So you see Florida as like a top 5 contender this year? The silence is deafening.
I barely have them a top 5 SEC contender.
Jeez.
I really do.
I'm not sure. I root for A&M, but at the same time, like after seeing that game, I'm like, I don't think A&M can play.
I think the crowd factored in. I think Florida really just played above themselves. Don't get me wrong. I think Florida's a really good team, but I have Bama, Georgia. Actually, I think I have Georgia as my number 1 in the SEC right now.
Wow. Okay.
I think they're the most complete. I think they've been the most complete team for a while. I think it's taken a lot of forming and coming together that this is going to be really the year that they show out. They kind of got some experience.
When I watched the Georgia-South Carolina game the other day, I was surprised. Maybe South Carolina's defense is just really good. But like for the first half, at least, I only watched the first half of that game. But for the first half, Georgia's offense was struggling against that South Carolina defense. Yeah. It was like just a defensive game for the first half, and then Georgia apparently ran away.
It is college football. You're not gonna have a blowout every week, even against crappy opponents, especially in the SEC.
They ended up blowing them out. It ended up being like 40-14 or something.
So teams are gonna play you close in the SEC. I mean, shoot, with the exception of Vanderbilt. But
Vanderbilt is an FCS team disguised as an SEC team.
Vanderbilt is in the SEC for 2 reasons.
Money.
To bring the GPA up in the SEC because they are a very highly ranked education program in the country. And 2, their baseball program.
Apparently Florida's like GPA requirements are pretty high as well. I didn't expect that, but Florida is apparently fairly hard to get into. I was surprised when I heard that. But then you have like teams like LSU bringing the whole like conference down a little bit. So.
Yeah, fuck our library, bro.
Dude,
give us a $70 million locker room, but
I mean,
half our library can't get power.
If you're set up in like Baton Rouge, I doubt you could keep anything like too like nice with all the hurricanes just like slamming into it constantly.
It's probably a hard time getting money to renovate that library when they're fighting all these sexual assault cases. So
Yeah, honestly. But like they get plenty of donations because all their NFL money.
Tyrann Matthew paid for half that locker room,
Honestly.
which is
Oh,
really
Odell.
ironic because he got kicked out of the program for
Then you
failing
have
too many
Odell.
drug tests.
Then you have like people like Odell and stuff that support it really well as well.
Oh yeah, getting drunk and slapping a cop on the ass. Another allegation. Not really an allegation, just another case that got settled with money.
Honestly, like I'm surprised I haven't heard more about Odell this season. Like I haven't heard jack about him. Like,
He hasn't played yet.
He hasn't?
No.
So,
They're eyeing a week 4 return for him.
so.
They're kind of waiting for him to get fully healthy. I mean, he's cleared to play.
He went from being like a top 3 receiver a few years ago to like barely ever talked about it anymore. Kind of sad. He had a good personality.
And he's not being a drama queen as much.
Yeah.
Ever since that ankle injury.
So you said what was your favorite game?
The Redskins Giants game. Taylor Heineke made me a fan last year in the wild card round. And this past game, he made me a believer.
Yeah, Heineke's the GOAT. Like, move out of the way, Brady and Mahomes. Like, Mahomes should basically just retire now after seeing that game.
If the NFL had a most improved, like the NBA, Heineke's winning that award, even if he tears his ACL and out the rest of the season.
How could we not see it coming? He came from such a powerhouse school like Old Dominion. Like, Jesus Christ. How would we not?
You could have seen it in his XFL days when he was the third string quarterback.
And still didn't play.
Well, that's what the third string quarterback would mean.
I mean, there's always the occasional case. Like, look at the Texans.
Hey, they're on their second string.
No, they're in their third. Tyrod got injured, apparently.
I know, but you can't really count Deshaun Watson.
I don't know. He's still on the roster. So
he's also in court.
And so technically they're on their third string quarterback. But I don't know. Another good game though was
their second strings on the IR and their first strings on the masseuse.
No, another good game was that Cardinals-Vikings game. I was like, the Cardinals look like actual contenders this year. Their defense is going off, and their offense just pulls off some of the craziest shit.
The Vikings just happen to have the worst special teams in all of football.
Their offense right now looks like how the Chiefs did when Mahomes first came to the Chiefs. Yeah, when Mahomes first came to the Chiefs.
Well, when you're built like the Golden State Warriors of the NFL,
yeah,
that's probably what's going to happen.
I'm surprised Kyler is playing as well as he is. Like, I know Kyler is a good quarterback, but I did not expect him to be playing like fucking Johnny Manziel on NFL field.
I mean, why? Because he's short? You think he couldn't do it because he's short?
Just because I knew he was talented. I didn't know he was that talented. Like, have you seen that pass like where he was like just like drop away fading it like up to Kirk? That's another player on their team that I think is criminally underrated. Christian Kirk.
It's insane watching his arm, especially because you know how our head coach in high school was his head coach. He just happened to move schools.
Might be a little bit biased.
Oh yeah, you're a lot of it biased, but Coach Westberg would actually pull us in his office after practice, and we would sit there and watch 30 minutes of Allen film. Yeah.
Oh,
he's like, this is how you're supposed to do it, not how you're doing it. But
I don't think I talked to Coach Westenberg like a single time. I mean, I probably talked to him occasionally, but I don't think I ever talked to him about football, which is kind of sad.
We had to watch a lot of film with him. I've had some one-on-one talks with him.
Then, of course, the year after we leave, he gets like Kyler Murray to do an online Zoom chat with our quarterbacks or something like that.
Yeah, and then he dips. But
he's like, hey, there's no saving this program.
Yeah, we made it to the third round of the playoffs. That's his ceiling.
Yeah, I forgot to say all right. He had to say that a few times when leaving as well.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I remember that was the one thing I got from his meetings. I'd just be counting how many times he said all right. Like I got like 130 once.
Well, when you're not expecting to play, you have to let the meetings go by fast somehow.
Yeah, after every single sentence, that was like, all right, and then go on to a different sentence. All right. It was amazing.
Coach Taylor was watching the crust on his lips.
Coach Taylor, like, I don't want to trash talk him, but he was a good person, but I didn't like him as a coach. So
You know, he actually got to meet Nick Saban,
really, didn't his team go to like the state
the
championship?
state championships, and got to meet Nick Saban at the state championships. Sure, Saban was there recruiting, but
Coach Watson.
speaking of Saban, college football championship predictions.
Dude,
Just
it's too fucking early. I think
pick your
Oregon.
playoff teams, top four.
I think Oregon is overrated, but I think they'll make top four. I could see. I could probably see Ohio State clawing back into it. No, actually, no. If Oregon won, I don't see Ohio State in it. I see Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, and the fourth one's kind of up for contention. I'm not sure who will win the fourth spot.
See,
If
I
A&M
have it.
If
I have
A&M
it.
If
What?
A&M only loses to Bama, then A&M could take it theoretically.
Well, you're not going to get a 3 SEC team playoff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
See, I have it. I have Cincinnati going undefeated, and I can't see them putting another undefeated Cincy team not in the playoffs. Especially how Georgia's doing this year, and how they gave Georgia a run for the money in the bowl game last year.
yeah,
So I actually have Bama, Georgia, Cincy, and then I have Penn State.
Penn State.
I actually see Penn State going undefeated this year until the playoffs, where I'm
I
going to have them
mean-
losing the either Bama or Georgia, whoever's one seed.
I think Oregon is getting getting way overrated by the ranking committee, and so I think Oregon will probably.
They're bound to choke a game or two this year.
You
They're
think?
bound to.
If
Either
they choke
UCLA,
again,
either UCLA or USC, I think will be the ones to get them.
I think they'll win against both of them. I mean, UCLA lost to the Bulldogs of the other
Fresno
day.
State, yeah.
Fresno State, and their quarterback.
Fresno State's a good team though.
Did you see that quarterback and how he broke what's his name? I'm gonna look it up real quick.
It's like Heener or something like that.
Here,
Yeah, I know you're talking about something Heener.
yeah, dude broke his hip on the second to last play. Went back out there and threw a game-winning touchdown, with a fractured hip or something, and just was carried off the field by his teammates. That's like some movie shit right there.
But
And
then
the
as
other
for NFL Super Bowl predictions,
again, I have no. It's really too early. Jake Hayner. That's I think, or Hayner. I'll say his name, but that's his name. Super Bowl predictions. For the NFC, I got the LA Rams. For the AFC, I have zero clue because all the teams kind of suck. I got Patriots.
I don't know if I even got the Patriots making the playoffs for me. But I'm going to go with the same division. I'm going to go the Bills Super Bowl. And then I'm going to go same thing as you. I'm going to go with the Rams. I think they're the most complete team. I think they have the best defense, and I think they have the best offense.
I don't think they have the best offense, but I think they have the best defense, and I think the Cardinals probably have the best offense. But
let's wait till week 4 or 5 when the Cardinals start. I mean, the first three. Look at last week. Everyone was saying Kyler Murray MVP by week 3.
Kyler Murray had 400 yards this last game.
You look at his stats from the first 3 games and all that last year. He was impressive, and then they came back to earth a little bit. Same thing with Russell Wilson in Seattle.
I still think Cardinals probably have a better offense than the
talent-wise, yeah, but I think scheme-wise and how they use their players, I think the Rams offense will be more productive and more consistent.
I don't know. I have no Like I'm just making a wild guess. It's really too early to even make these predictions. Cowboys are a good dark horse, though. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I hope they
I
do
can
well.
easily see the Cowboys making a deep playoff run. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I am a fan of Dak Prescott. Um, I haven't watched all of
Band,
Hard Knocks, but I've watched a little bit.
bandwagon.
No, I can watch Dak
You watch
Prescott go for 500. I can just like week one. I can watch Dak Prescott go off and watch him lose and not even like wake up at night. I can sleep right through the night knowing that Dallas sucks. I hate Dallas, but
Texans
I
going to the
use
Super Bowl
Texans. Oh yeah, definitely.
with their third string QB.
Hey, don't be sleeping on Davis Mills.
Is that his name? Jeez. Like, he's
Let's
going to
let's
come
look
out.
let's look at the last two quarterbacks to take over for Tyrod Taylor. You got Baker Mayfield, Justin Herbert.
It's pretty good.
Those are both
lineup right
rookie of
there.
the years.
Yeah, maybe. Watch him be like a goat or something. So, I don't know. Then, did you see that high school game? I forget what the teams are.
The
Come back.
18 points in a minute and
Yeah,
10 seconds.
that was crazy. That was everywhere as well. And the quarterback throwing up on the ball as he threw the game-winning touchdown. I swear, there were some movie moments this week, and it was kind of crazy.
It's definitely fun having football back.
Yeah,
I've
'cause
missed it.
well, even like usually you don't see stuff like that many type of storylines come up in one weekend. So
To kind of reference Josh Pete from 247 Sports Podcast, it's kind of like a renaissance year, especially for college football. It feels like one of those years that it's gonna be insane. You're gonna see a lot of upsets. All the fans coming back. Everything's gonna be on steroids.
I don't
And
think
wow,
Bama
your room is getting white.
I don't think Bama will actually win the championship this year. I think Bama will make it to the top four in playoffs and then lose to a team.
I could easily see Bama not making it to the playoffs. I can see them being 2 losses.
Who do you think they'll lose to?
I think Georgia will beat them in the SEC championship.
I thought you meant in regular season.
Well, that SEC championship is kind of the regular season.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they lose in the SEC championship, though, I could definitely see them still being in the top four.
I don't know. Before the season started, I could have seen A&M being an upset team for Bama, but with King out, I don't know.
Yeah. Fucking vegan. This is what happens when you don't eat meat. Your bones turn.
Editing that one out. I don't want the vegan teacher on us.
Dude, come on, bitch. I 1v1 you. Let's boxing match right now. First video, we're starting a boxing match.
Well, we have 0 viewers. I mean, it's not even released, and we're already getting the celebrity boxing. Jake Paul coming for you.
Yeah, no, fucking.
You don't want these hands, man.
You can take Jake Paul. I'll take on the vegan teacher.
I feel like you have the harder opponent.
Dude, honestly, like if I even beat her, I get canceled.
I just proposed to her. Ray Rice it.
Dude, proposing to her probably won't work. She probably fucks animals. Let's be honest.
You fuck nobody.
That's fair enough. I fuck nobody on my own.
Hey, doing it for a religious reason is better than just not being able to. Yeah. I'll give you that.
I'd rather fuck nobody than fuck a dog. Michael, so you agree with me? Come on.
I don't want to offend my friend Roman Falcon, but oh wait, her name was Kimmy. But wow, I feel like I'm gonna edit a lot of this out.
Yeah, this whole section is going to be.
I might put it in. I might just leave it in, bro.
This is like only a 30.
The last thing my mom said to me, the last thing when she found out I was doing this was keep it clean.
No, that's not happening. Even if you do edit it, you don't have to just make it like a blank podcast.
But I'm not too worried about it.
So
let's talk NFL quarterbacks. I feel like there's a lot to talk about there, especially this early in the season. It's already been crazy. You know I'm very skeptical of Lamar Jackson. I don't think he's a elite quarterback. I think he's an elite athlete, and
Say what's on
I
your
do
mind. Say he's
I
trash. Say he's trash.
he's a
Say what's on
trash
your mind.
he's a trash NFL quarterback. I think his athletic ability is enough to help them. In fact, it might be enough to help him win, to make him win. I mean, he proved that he's athletic enough, but I've yet to see him beat someone with his arm.
Yeah. I mean, he beat Mahomes and he
With
threw
his
like
legs.
but I mean he threw some decent passes in there. But to be fair, they were all wide open, which I blame the
But
Chiefs defense. Like fuck the Chiefs defense. Like that's the reason I don't have the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl in the AFC this year because their defense is just so garbage. So but we're talking about quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, he's probably 15. He's probably like top 15 for me, but on the low end.
he's probably outside my top 15.
One quarterback we don't talk like a lot about, nobody talks a lot about, is Derek Carr.
I was just thinking
Like
that as you started that sentence.
He's a very like solid quarterback, but like he's just always been on like not great teams and kind of holds him back. This year he seems to be doing well though with the Raiders.
Everyone kind of forgets that MVP like season he had in 2018 when the Raiders made that run to the playoffs, and then he ended up getting hurt.
I don't know that he's had a bad season. Like I know he's had a whole bunch of mediocre seasons, but like he's a good starting quarterback. If he's like
he's very Dak Prescott-ish.
You know how people like rate Jared Goff? Like that's how I would rate him. But Jared Goff is way overrated.
Jared Goff is nowhere near on Derek Carr's level.
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying
you're saying like where people rate Jared Goff is where he is at. Okay.
Where people put Jared Goff at, which is way overrated. I don't get the Jared Goff hype, but that's where I would put Derek Carr.
Out of every starting quarterback in the NFL, there's probably only 2 or 3 quarterbacks I would take Jared Goff over. And it's just because it's trash.
There's only 2 or 3 that you would take Jared
Goff over. Yeah. Most of the league would be over Jared Goff.
Yeah. I don't know. Like if you are in like the Texans situation, I guess Jared Goff would be a godsend. But
if Tyrod Taylor is still healthy, I would take Tyrod over.
I'm saying current Texans situation.
I would take him over Daniel Jones. I know Daniel Jones had a really good game on Thursday, but I mean, let's look at history.
Still lost.
And history shows that Daniel Jones has been a really bad quarterback, especially when it comes to turnovers. Maybe he turns it around, but I'm going to need a lot more than one game to make me a believer of Daniel Jones. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one, but I would take him over Lamar Jackson. I would. I think Jared Goff has the talent level to be a star NFL quarterback. I don't think he has the mental game to do so.
Disagree with you there. I'm not saying he's not like a decent quarterback, but I don't think he would ever be a star quarterback.
His arm talent's there. He's great arm talent. But arm talent doesn't take you everywhere.
Even his arm talent, though, isn't like on the level of Mahomes.
I mean, he's not Mahomes. I mean, he's not going to sit there and throw an 80-yard pass, but he can make every pass you need him to make.
Not an 80-yard one.
Well, if you ever drop a route to go 80 yards, then I'll concede that one to you. But go find me a coach that says, all right, I want you to run 80 yards downfield. I need the O-line to protect you for that long, and I need you to throw that.
Andy Reid in the last Super Bowl.
You see how that worked out?
I'm not saying it was a good idea, but I found you a coach that does it.
I don't think it was schemed like that. I think the Chiefs are just so used to being able to do whatever they want, whenever they want offensively.
Yeah, Tampa is a good team even this year. So I think Tampa is like a team to beat. I don't know if
Tampa gives me Saints vibes from last year
I don't know
or
who's going
Packers
to beat.
vibes. I think they're a top team that has the talent to do it, and everyone expects to go all the way. I think something's going to happen.
Yeah, same. But I don't know who's going to beat them. That's the thing. Like I
I
think
can
the
see the
Cowboys.
Rams. I can see
I think the Cowboys.
the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys should have beat them.
Yeah, I'm saying I think the Cowboys might have a comeback game. Like beat the snot out of them.
I want to say beat the snot out of them, but I can see another high scoring matchup again. This time going in the favor of Dallas.
You know who's a real
Um,
Super Bowl contender? The New York Jets.
Poor Zach Wilson, dude.
He's getting so much hate, and I'm like, if you had that shit, even offensive line, like
I saw a clip earlier today,
of the little
and
kid like pointing it out.
it's all his receivers are covered, not even slightly open. He has one guy coming untouched up the middle. He has he has two offensive linemen and a tight end to the right side
And
playing
then
patty cake with each other.
one offensive lineman is blocking another offensive lineman.
Exactly. And then one's getting dusted off the edge to the left. And I think one's getting bull rushed. I think it's just horrible situation. Sam Darnold is living proof, I think, that it's the Jets. It's not the quarterback.
Sam Darnold's doing really good at the Panthers this year. Not really good, but he's doing fairly good. I mean, I think that's fair enough. Like
I think Panthers might be a team that might beat the Bucks at least once this year. They'll play twice.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to talk about NFL quarterback wise besides the GOAT Taylor Heineke?
I don't know. I just feel like it's not stressed enough that like Kyler is doing some really impressive things. Like I don't know why. I'm not even a Kyler fanboy.
A little bit you are.
I mean, like I'm not one of those people that actively has ever rooted for Kyler Murray, but I'm like watching these fairly highlight tapes, but it's making me a fan of. I'm like, oh, this is entertaining. It's kind of like watching Mahomes back in his like.
But you also look at the game, and a very not talked about point from this past game is 2 picks, including a pick six.
To be fair, one of them wasn't really his fault, was it? Like I saw one and it was like kind of like a bounce pass. It wasn't like there one swatted up in the air and it was picked off from there.
Yeah, but it's 2 picks. It's 2 turnovers.
Well, it's like saying in the
if they lose the game, it's not so much, hey, look what Kyler Murray did. It's look what Kyler Murray did.
But that's kind of like the Bucks versus Cowboys game from 2 weeks ago when Tom Brady technically threw 2 picks, but one of which was like just a Hail Mary at the end of a half. And then the other literally bounced off Leonard Fournette's hands, and Leonard Fournette like volleyballed that shit up into the air, and it got picked off. So you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I mean, if Tom Brady hits Leonard in the chest, if he drops it, it falls straight down. Pass was a little high. Granted, I won't even make.
Like
it was up here, but granted, I can't make the throw. I mean, I probably could if no one was rushing me or anything. I got an okay arm, but I'm not no NFL quarterback.
You're not 45 either.
That's the sad part, but it's Kyler's a little reckless with the ball. I mean, he gives me a lot of Russell Wilson vibes from the 2012, 2013 runs.
Imagine if like back then Russ played the same that Russ plays like now, like with how like more strategic he is and stuff like that.
Yeah, but back then, look what Russ did. He does what Kyler Murray does now. The whole running around 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage and then making immaculate throws.
I'm just wondering, like, would the Seahawks have done better if they had like modern day Russell Wilson?
I think they would have.
Yeah, they were like lined up to be the next dynasty as well. That's what got me into being a Seahawks fan. Yes, I was a bandwagon at the time.
Well, I flip flopping back and forth between the Texans and the Saints. I live in Houston, so I'm gonna have a little love for the Texans, but my whole mom's side of the family is from Louisiana, hence the LSU gear. And ever since my grandma died, she went to the first Saints game. So it's just I've
It's
kind of fallen back in love with the Saints.
it's almost impossible to truly be a Texans fan. I feel like it's so hard, like because the coach is fighting against you, the players are fighting against you, the law enforcement's now fighting against you. Like,
It's
uh,
tough.
yeah, I don't. Being a Texans fan seems like it'd be just as depressing as like being a fucking Jets fan. Like,
Um,
could not do it. I mean, I'm if the Texans do well, I'm happy for them. I'm not like anti-Texans. I'm just saying it would be hard to be a Texans fan.
um, I got a couple bold takes for college football this week. I have Arkansas beating A&M. I think it's gonna be both teams just trying to run the ball on each other, and I think Arkansas wears down A&M before A&M wears down Arkansas.
I think it'll be a 3-point game. I don't know which team will win yet, but I think like the game will be super close. The game will be within like 3 points.
And I got Tennessee upsetting Florida.
I mean, I don't
I
know. I don't know how Tennessee's doing this year. Like, I
Tennessee
thought,
has something that I haven't seen in a long time. My dad's a Tennessee fan, so I watch the games and I keep up with them. So a little bias, yes, but I've also noticed the past few years Tennessee just they don't care. They don't play hard. They go out there, they throw the ball around, gets intercepted, and they don't try. But this
Tennessee
team,
is such a nice campus. Oh my goodness.
they
Sorry, I know it's off
just
topic.
yeah. But their loss to Pitt, it was tough, but they fought to the end. And I don't really blame Tennessee too much. I mean, Pitt has like the average age on that team of like 28.
Who's
They're
LSU playing? Who's LSU playing this week?
Mississippi
Oh,
State
this is
at
gonna be
Mississippi
funny.
State.
I don't know.
I could
Two shitty
any
SEC teams,
any year till this year, I would
and last year.
even if I had internal disbelief. Well, last year we played Mississippi State week 1, lost, but even last year I would even if I kind of doubted myself on the inside, I would never come out loud and say LSU might lose.
I
I
think
don't have LSU gives me the feeling that they're good enough to keep up with the good teams. Like, I don't think there's gonna be one game, maybe the Bama game. I don't see many blowouts this year. Either
I
way,
think
I think LSU will keep up with the good teams, but also not run away on the bad teams.
I don't think LSU is a great team this year, or even particularly good team this year. I do think they'll kick the snot out of Mississippi State this week, though. Not like a 49-0 blowout or something, but I think it'll be like 40 like 8 to like
LSU's too bad to be
20.
good, but too good to be bad.
I think it'll be like a 48-20 game because I think LSU's going to come out with a
We
vengeance this
can't
week
run the
because
ball.
well,
We ran the ball for 40 yards on McNeese State.
what happened last year, I think will inspire y'all to kick the shit out of.
If we can't run the ball, it's gonna be hard to get our offense going. I think that's a key. Even Coach Orgeron is really pushy on it. We need to learn how. We need to not learn. We need to run the ball better.
A&M's
Uh,
got that down. This
until
Arkansas, this
y'all become
Arkansas,
one dimensional.
this Arkansas A&M game is going to be really good. This will determine who I think comes.
I wish I'll be able to watch the entire game. That's gonna be. I'll probably finish it when I get back from home from work. But
That'll probably determine who comes out second in the SEC West.
I'll be able to watch the LSU game live for the first time this season. I've had to work the other times. But they got the 11 o'clock game. So
And
Arkansas ain't able to play at 3:30.
who's Bama playing this week?
Knowing Bama like Vanderbilt or something.
Some team that they're just going to destroy. But like honestly, I thought they would destroy Florida. Not destroy, but I thought they were going to beat Florida by quite a bit. So I'm
I
kind
want to
of
say Alabama's playing South Carolina.
Bryce Young is still looking pretty good this year, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, of course, Alabama's playing Southern Mississippi.
That's an odd time to have like some FCS school.
Well, I guess they had their SEC opener a week early.
Yeah.
So instead of having that extra fluff game, they're gonna get it now. Oh man, I could see Alabama losing another game too. Now that I'm looking at their schedule,
What do you think they're gonna lose?
I can see the Mississippi beating them.
Like Mississippi State?
No, Mississippi, Ole Miss.
Oh, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. They always play Bama close, and I think Matt Corral or Matt Corral, however you pronounce his last name, the Ole Miss quarterback.
Yeah.
He's my Heisman favorite this year.
So one good game for me is Tech versus Texas is this week. So I don't think we're going to win, but I hope we do. Like it's like when A&M plays Alabama or LSU plays Alabama. It's like, will we probably win? Probably not. But will we give it our best shot? Yes.
It's shitty versus shitty because one shitty believes that they're not shitty.
Yeah. With Tech, it's like I'm pretty sure most Texas Tech students feel this way. They would lose every other game of the season if they could just beat UT.
See, and what's considered y'all's rival is Baylor for some reason.
We have Texas is considered as one of our rivals too.
I know, but
Baylor.
rivalry week at the end of the season, y'all play Baylor.
Yeah.
So that's
Baylor's
considered
pretty chill,
really your biggest rival.
Baylor
That's
students are chill.
LSU A&M is technically each other's biggest rival, even though history shows that you are not much of a rival at all. Granted,
last
what I
3
want-
games, 2-1.
and you're like
Ba-
you're like 2-26 in the last 30 years.
I mean, Baylor, though, if we're going back to Tech, Baylor, like students, they're just too rich to really be concerned about being big rivals with anybody. It's like if you were to go to like SMU or something.
You can't really get a loyal, loud fan base when they're all too worried about having to get a job and pay tuition.
It's like fucking Harvard or something. Baylor's not like a super.
Well, don't be
Ivy League school.
don't be disrespecting Harvard. That's where the
Harvard?
goat came from. Harvard. The goat came from Harvard.
Fitzpatrick?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Dude, he like apparently aced that QB test as well. Like the QB test that all QBs take, he probably has one of the highest scores ever. So I think he scored like 40 out of 50 on that.
Let's stray away from football a little bit. Biggest role models. Who's your biggest role model or role models?
Like IRL.
Yeah, in real life. You have fake role models?
Well, I mean, like TV people. One interesting thing I read in a book by Dan Crenshaw is that like people are just who they make their heroes be, because everyone like finds heroes to aspire to be like, and like how well you're able to become like that hero is basically who you become. The book's called Fortitude. Great book. You know who Dan Crenshaw is?
Yes.
Badass dude. So, but like, if we're talking about people in real life that like, I guess my uncle, he's like an older brother to me, my dad and my grandpa, but that's really basic. Like I bet everybody says that.
I was gonna go uncle. I love my dad. I got a great relationship with my dad now. My dad had a rough spot in his life. Wasn't around too often. My uncle really stepped in and filled that void. Really became a father figure. If I had to guess, I think he loves me like his own son. He takes care of me, helps me out so much. One of the best people I ever know. Probably my grandpa. Definitely my grandpa. It's like 1A, 1B.
Sorry, it was getting a little bit too serious, so I just was like,
Safe word.
periwinkle.
Thought it was roll tide. But and then and my mom. It's really been the only person that's been there every day.
I don't know. Is it like okay to like say your younger siblings are your role model, not because you want to be like them, but because you want to be better for them?
I wouldn't say they're your role model. I would say um, your inspirations.
I guess, but you kind of say it's a role model too. Like, maybe.
Well, a role model is someone that you look up to, and inspiration is something you're doing something for, something that motivates you.
Yeah, I
I
get
think
that.
they would fall. I think they'd fall under the category of inspiration, and I feel the same way. I got a 4-year-old brother and a 2-year-old sister and a 1-year-old cousin. So
Oh,
definitely want to do better for them.
you're really just going to forget about your actual biological sister, aren't you?
She's grown. If she looks up to me, I don't know why she does. She's in a lot better spot than I am. But
So, I mean, everybody should want like better for their siblings than they have for themselves. So, or like anybody they care about. Like I look like that for my cousins too. So now like fictional people, role models, I guess.
Spencer James, but
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
angry.
You are Crenshaw. Dude, I could not finish that last season.
The real his real inspiration isn't Crenshaw. It's Dan Crenshaw. The moral behind the script.
The eye patch. I don't think that like they're like on the same line.
But I don't know. It's
I
two
don't know.
extremes.
All American it does teach some good values, and I appreciate that. Like I do appreciate Spencer James and like how he stands up for the community and stuff. But at the same time, it's like at the same time they do really try and push political views on people, which I'm not a big fan
It's a
of.
CW show.
I mean, I'm that way with both sides. Like I don't like watching. Like I don't like Fox when they do it. I don't like CNN when they do it. It's just stupid to me.
No,
I think
but
people should be able to create their own
if you
decisions
do have a
based on a story.
fictional, if you do have a fictional uh, role model, who would it be?
Fictional role model? I don't know. Fucking Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo.
I don't know.
Uh, definitely see that one.
I'll think about it more.
Omni
I have,
Man. Uh,
yeah, yeah, like fucking humans. Like they all just deserve to die. And now we're on the watch list. Congratulations. At the beginning, we talked
have
about how
fun
we were
getting in
going
the
to be in.
CIA now.
Yeah, at the beginning, we were talking about how we're going to be in chains after this.
Well, we started off rough. We started off bringing up the point that it can go bad fast, and then somehow we got to talk about some friends and some choices that probably might be edited out.
Fucking squirrels.
It was dogs. Squirrels was before we started talking, but and now we're on watch list.
Dude, we probably are, but let's be honest here.
Probably been on one. Um,
Uh,
question of the day. You have your question?
like philosophy wise,
Something you wanted to do, man.
I forgot.
We can just look up
Sure.
random question,
I have a
or
good
you
one.
go.
There's a quote from a famous psychiatrist. I forget what his name is, but basically he said that a person can never truly be a man until his father dies, and that doesn't need to be in the physical sense. I saw this on with Jordan Peterson actually. I don't watch Jordan Peterson, but I see like little things of him and stuff. But it doesn't need to be like a physical death of a father. It could be like you see that your father is human and can fail and stuff like that, and you no longer look up to him. Do you truly believe like the death of a fatherly figure is, or the way you perceive a fatherly figure is what makes a boy a man?
Yes and no. I don't think that's as simple as yes and no. Um, I think watching your dad, especially as you get older, or your fatherly figure, make those mistakes, and watching it, I think it's all about how they handle those mistakes that make them human. I think watching how they I think watching how they react and continue on with their lives and bounce back actually will help me become a better man. Watching my dad, my uncle, my grandpa do stuff like that. Watching how they handle the situations, but I do think I think it's a lot more when your dad will pass you the torch. I think every man gets to a point in their life where their fatherly figure will pass the torch down, figuratively speaking, where you're now the provider. You know the song "Keep the Wolves Away"?
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah, and he talks about his dad getting sick, and now it was his turn to protect and provide for the family.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I think you get to a certain point where
Okay, stop playing with
you're gonna have a hard time going off in handcuffs if you're going off in a stretcher. But
stab myself on accident.
I think it's a more of a pass the torch. I don't think your fatherly figure has to die or even figuratively die. I think even after you become a man, there's always a lesson to be learned. And your fatherly figure is always be something that will teach you a lesson.
Yeah, I'm not saying you stop learning lessons, but I don't know why, but Sigmund Freud, that's the psychiatrist that was talking about it. That's what he's quoted as saying, like, you can't truly be a man until your father dies.
Eh,
And I kind of
and
see
then
that.
and then I also bring up the point. Will that fatherly figure ever die?
Well,
I
yeah,
mean, there'll always be memories and stuff like that you'll end up looking back on. You'll learn something from it. So in that sense, we ever become a man?
well, as I've become older, I've seen my dad is flawed and he's not like the perfect person that I should aspire to be like or something like that. But I recognize he is a good person and that there are a lot of qualities that I should try and emulate. But at the same time, I would consider that kind of the death of my father because I don't see him as somebody I want to emulate fully, just like parts of him that I want to emulate, if that makes sense.
I think. Okay. I think there's a difference between father and dad.
It's a fatherly figure.
I
Not
know,
like,
but no, but even you can have a father figure and a dad figure. I think dad is little boy looking up to that fatherly figure. Perfect. He's Superman. That's dad. I think father is more of the when you're older, the teaching you lessons type of person. So
oh, that's my only philosophical question I can think of off the top of my head for right now. So, um, what else?
we talked about we kind of joked about a safe word earlier.
Periwinkle.
If we go into periwinkle.
Periwinkle.
So we're gonna have a safe word if things ever get too serious,
What color is
or
periwinkle?
or if one of us feels like the other one's bringing something up too far or too personal. Neither one of us get offended too easily. So, well,
It's like a
one
purple.
of us will get offended too easily for playing COD. I can't do it. It's just white.
Dude. Whoa, the camera makes a cool color. It's like it's flashing. Sorry. I get distracted easily.
But as long as you're not playing Call of Duty, we don't get offended too easily. So periwinkle will be the word that we throw out if things get too serious or out of hand, just so we don't get taken out in handcuffs.
If I ever start a football team, it's going their team color is going to be periwinkle. Sometimes, like, imagine getting beat by a team that's like has a periwinkle color.
I don't think I've ever heard the word periwinkle so much back to back to back. Anything else you want to say?
Not really. I'm good. Thanks for watching, I guess.
Um,
For all three of you, maybe.
it might just be us rewatching it. Let's just watch it a lot of times to let's get those views up. Let's get paid.
I was like me and you, and then like some random dude, some fucking bot, some
if you're
some girl looking for a sugar daddy.
well, if anyone does watch it and you're coming from my TikTok that I started, keep an eye out on that TikTok. Follow it. I'll probably post a video every time we're about to drop another podcast. We're gonna try for every Tuesday. I hate you. I have an Instagram account. Follow it. It's mic'd up. Oh, interesting about mic'd up. Christian actually came up with it. My name is Michael Krupp. I don't know if y'all put that together, but Michael Krupp. There's 2 P's and up and Krupp. So it was a little interesting. I never would have thought of it, but well,
I think outside the box.
I am the box. But well, if anyone's watching, we'll see you next time. And if not,
we'll still see you next time because we'll be here next Tuesday.
We'll be here. I don't know about Tuesday. I don't know if it'll be released Tuesday.
Next, whenever it comes out. Next week.
Once a week. We'll go with that. Hopefully, unless someone decides to blow me off for a date again. Not even that he really blew me off. He changed the time back to 11.
I moved it from like 11 to midnight to 1 to 1:30.
And then I didn't hear from him till about 11:45. He's like, "Let's do it at 1." And then he texts me at 1:30.
I'm on my way.
And then he starts blowing up my phone, and I'm awake, but I just purposely ignore it because I'm pissed. But
I don't know if this is going to be edited out, but yeah. See ya. Thank you.
Probably not. Oh, right. See ya.